Gentlemen of the press, we have kept you waiting for more than an hour, but there are a few things that we had to put in place so that we can be able to issue a comprehensive statement. We have this press release. We met yesterday. We have been having a 2 days retreat. Please. We assembled here 19 counties, and we had a 2 days retreat to discuss issues that affect our party and those that are affecting the country and various regions that we come from. And following a 2-day consultative meeting with our aspirants for parliamentary and gubernatorial seats from various parts of the country, we have had the issues of concern that Kenyans are raising. Among them is ravaging hunger in parts of the country, access to COVID-19 vaccine, affordable health costs, and general suffering occasioned by the rising cost of living. On this issue concerning hunger, it is true that Kenyans are really suffering with the COVID-19 and already reduced incomes. And noting that the government did not buy enough maize to our strategic food reserve, and that the formula being applied to help those who are in need is a bit discriminative. Because already we have counties that are not being mentioned, where people are sleeping hungry. And therefore, we are demanding that the government take its responsibility to feed its people. In view of this, we call upon the government to immediately, let me take this again, because I needed to emphasize on that. In view of this, we call upon the government to immediately relocate funds that had been set aside for BBI to feeding programs, vaccination, and safety net programs, and Kasi Mtaani. On matters relating to general elections, that is 2022, we have agreed that TSP will field candidates across the country and will soon call for applications from interested and serious aspirants for the various elective positions. This meeting has also affirmed the National Governing Council's decision that at the presidential level, TSP will engage like-minded parties to establish pre- or post-election coalitions. To ensure that we have a free, fair, and credible elections, we urge Parliament to fast-track any elections-related registration for certainty and preparedness by all stakeholders. As part of our preparedness for the general elections, we have been listening and engaging Kenyans around the country. We have heard them loud and clear. This time, they will not vote for leaders based on euphoria, but they will be looking for individuals, character, leadership ability, service delivery record, and issues people care about. I want to take it again. As part of our preparedness for the general elections, we have been listening and engaging Kenyans around the country. We have heard them loud and clear that this time they will not vote for leaders based on euphoria, but they will be looking for individuals' character, leadership ability, service delivery record, and issues people care about. To move us forward as a party, we have decided on the following as our agenda and irreducible minimums to I take it again, to move us forward. As a party, we have decided on the following as our agenda and irreducible minimums or for engagement with like-minded parties and preparation for Limuru 3. And I want to make it very clear that what we are discussing here, we are discussing both national issues and issues that are affecting regions. And therefore, we are very clear on whom to engage and how to engage, regional level and national level. That we have already come up with our agenda and irreducible minimum. For us to support any presidential candidate, they must commit to supporting this agenda and the irreducible minimum in broad daylight, that is in public. We have had a habit whereby people sit in a boardroom, go deliberate their issues, then they take memorandums at night to the legislative political party and agreeing on how they are going to work together. This time around, TSP will only discuss out of boardrooms. That if you are sure that you want our support, you must tell Kenyans what we have agreed with you. Not calling a few people at that corner, few individuals to another corner, agreeing on a memorandum. The memorandum will be agreed on in the boardroom, that is okay, but it must be read to the public. So the following are our irreducible minimum and our agenda. Number 1, equality of vote. This is a basic right in our constitution that needs to be assured and given effect. Inequality of the vote is a historical injustice that must be corrected without further delay. TSP position is that this equality must be achieved even if it means amending the constitution or existing statutes. IEBC must be enabled to undertake the delimitation of constituencies as provided for in the Constitution within the next 2 years, as provided in the Constitution based on the 2019 population census. Again, I want to emphasize here that the Constitution is capped on 290 constituencies. But again, according to the census and the formula to be used, it opens up on additional constituencies. And that is what we are emphasizing. Even if it will mean amending the constitution or other statutes, this must take effect so that nobody feels that is not properly represented. Equitable sharing of resources. We also demand a formula that will redress existing inequalities without oppressing other Kenyans. Further discrimination in this area is unacceptable to us. Number 3, right to own property and live anywhere and be elected. Every election year, it is unfortunate that voters in certain parts of the country experience threats, intimidation, and incitement against certain candidates. Such intimidation must end. All Kenyans have the right to live anywhere in this country and seek elective positions should they wish so. Number 4, more resources to agriculture. Agriculture includes livestock and fisheries and remains the greatest provider of employment for our people. Agriculture can drive and has been driving the economic changes. Agriculture can drive the economic changes we want to see in our communities. We therefore demand that the budgetary allocation be raised to a minimum of 10% of the public expenditure. We therefore demand that that the budgetary allocation be raised to a minimum of 10% of the total public expenditure. This will enable the establishment of guaranteed minimum returns, mechanization of agriculture, to bring on board our skilled youths and other critical priorities. Number 5, access to affordable credit for SMEs. SMEs are the greatest creators. SMEs are the greatest creators of employment in this country. They must be treated, let me take this again. Access to affordable credit for SMEs. SMEs are the greatest creators for employment in this country. They must be treated with the importance they deserve. TSP is calling for provision of affordable credit, especially for startup businesses. Universal health care. Number 6. The cry for our people on issues of affordable health care, worsening prevalence of mental health, alcoholism, and non-communicable diseases is of concern to the party. And we demand that it no longer receive mere lip service and must get the adequate budgetary allocation. Number 7, pesa machinani. The national and county governments remains the biggest source of public expenditure. When it delays payment to its contractors and suppliers, not only do the individual businesses suffer, but circulation of resources is inhibited. TSP demands that post-2022 government must undertake to make timely payments of its contractors and suppliers within 60 days upon issuance of certificates or invoices. Number 8, prudent use of public resources. Kenyans have many times complained of waste in government and unrewarding expenditure. To deal with this, TSP is demanding that a special monitoring and evaluation unit be established to complement existing institutions such as Auditor General's Office, the Judiciary, the DPP, ODDP, to enhance the fight against corruption. As you all are aware, every presidential candidate or anybody who would want to aspire as a presidential candidate, the first promise they give Kenyans is that they are going to fight corruption. But instead of fighting corruption, corruption is thriving each and every day. And you must look at where does it start. If today you are issued with a contract and nobody evaluates what you are doing, the Auditor General will catch up with you at a year or two later. But if we have an effective way of monitoring and evaluation in every aspect of life, even if you do proper monitoring evaluation in whatever you do as a person, it enhances chances of you not doing the wrong thing. And therefore, what we are saying, this is a very important unit that for the first time it must be allowed to work. It is one of the units that will be able to fight the cancer of corruption. And therefore, we shall be emphasizing on that so that things are done in a very timely manner. These offices must be strengthened because you look at Auditor General, reports are read after 10 years. Others are read after 5 years. So how do you deal with corruption that happened 5 years ago? Already, some of these people are already dead. Others already have vanished in the air. And therefore, we need to fast track so that every year, Auditor General must be able to go through his books and people must be brought. Justice should be applied. What we are calling for is instant justice. Provide those offices, human resource, and resources that are required of them. In conclusion, TSP commits to the unity of Kenya and the general welfare of our people and urge Kenyans to seek COVID-19 vaccination, take IDs, and to continue registering as voters, as the fate of this country lies with them.